way the Rams from Blue Valley, all decked out in their blue colors. Now the Rams are in their white uniforms, trimmed in blue with bright blue helmets. The Little River Redskins are the home team. They have the black uniforms trimmed in red with black helmets. And so this football game is just about ready to tip off. And we're looking forward to a great game as two powerhouse football teams and 8-man football come to this contest here this afternoon. 12-0, both teams undefeated. Somebody's going to walk away the state champion. Another team's going to lose the first game of the year. And that's what a championship game is all about. There's winners and losers, and these kids are going to give it everything they've got to walk away with the football game. So the captains for the Redskins are marching out onto the field right now, and the captains for the Redskins include Tyson Conan, their quarterback, Chad Lafferty, their fullback, also Tony Wallace, the tailback, and the other captain out there on the field. He turned just before I got a glimpse at his number. It's for the Redskins. The other captain is Charlie Shell, offensive lineman. And the players from Blue Valley out the center of the field, they're meeting. The coin has been tossed. Let's see who wins it. Official caught the coin. Last week he threw the coin in the air. It probably landed in Nebraska, the way that wind was blowing. But it's calmed down a little bit, so a little bit better weather for football this week. The wind is, chilly and out of the north, but others separating things around. It looks like that Blue Valley has won the toss, and they have elected to receive. They'll be working against the wind. The Redskins will get their choice at the second half, and the Redskins will be defending the north goal with the wind at their back. Meeting out the center of the football field. Once again, 8-man football is a 80-yard field, so the center stripe is the 40-yard line. A little bit different than 8-man football. And the players will be teeing up the football at the 15-yard line, and Little River will be kicking the ball away. The kicker for the Redskins is Chris Rochelle. Chris Rochelle, 175-pound sophomore. He's got a nice breeze at his back, and so the playing conditions, has been pretty windy in the last few games, and so I think everybody's going to look forward to having a more normal type of football field to play on and nicer weather. As we said in the earlier game, coming into the contest, the Rolla Ball Club defeated Beloit of St. John 48-26. Big win for Rolla, winning the state championship. In other football games from around the state, it looks like this. The 6A championship is undefeated Olathe North going up against Wichita Northwest. Olathe North 11-0. And Wichita Northwest 9-2. Last I heard, Olathe North was easily winning that football game. And a big game of interest here in Salina. The Salina Central Mustangs are going up against Liberal. The Mustangs are 11-1. Their only loss coming to Manhattan. And Liberal going into the defending state champions, a real powerhouse in football the last few years. And Liberal undefeated on the season. And that ball game is being played up in Lawrence. In the 3A game, it's Beloit and Wellsville, and Beloit entered that contest at 11-1. Last I heard, they were leading by 14 over Wellsville. Wellsville with the 10-2 mark. And in the 4A game, it was Ulysses and Fort Scott. Ulysses was winning the game at last I heard. 2A, it's Garden Plain against Frankfort. Garden Plain 12-0, Frankfort 12-0. So two undefeated teams matching up just like we have here. Okay. They are going to tee up the football on the kickoff for the 30-yard line. On the touchbacks, it's at the 15. And so back deep to receive for Blue Valley is Nick Dowell, their quarterback. So Nick Dowell standing back at about the 7-8 yard line. Rochelle approaches the football. The kick, it's an end-over-end kick. It's going to bounce into the end zone. It's going to be a touchback. And the Rams will take possession of the football at the 15-yard line and will be working against the wind. But the wind is really no factor whatsoever for Blue Valley, as they have only thrown a handful of passes. You can count the number of passes practically on one hand that they've thrown in the playoffs. They have not had much success in the playoffs, though, as I think they are 0 for 5 passing in the playoffs. Quarterback is, once again, Nick Dowell. And they have two backs in the eye. There's a handoff to their big back. He's stacked up at the line of scrimmage, maybe fall forward for about a yard or two, but a good defensive play for the Redskins. Jason Peters, the ball carrier, and getting off the bottom of the pile is Chad Lafferty for the Little River Redskins. It's a gain of a yard, brings up a 2nd down and 9. So this football game underway, and a good defensive stop for the Redskins to start off this football game. They really only gained about a half a yard on the play. Once again, Blue Valley working against the wind. The Redskins have not been scored upon in the playoffs. What an awesome performance by the Redskins. There's a handoff to Peter once again. He smashed right at the line of scrimmage. In on the tackle was big 420-pound Chad Elwood. He tripped him up, and then the linebackers just piled on top, and it's a gain of about another half of yard, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 8.5 yards to go for the 1st and 10. They've got to get it up to the 25-yard line for the 1st and 10. In the backfield, Ryan Bolson and Jason Peter. The quarterback, Dowell. Dowell takes the snap, fakes a handoff, keeps, tries to get around the corner. He's across the 20, dives for the 1st down marker. I believe he's shy. He's going to be marked at about the 23-yard line, so it's going to bring up a 4th down and 2, and the defense for the Little River Redskins is held, and it's probably going to force Blue Valley into a punting situation. Now dropping back to punt for Blue Valley, trying to pick up that number right now. It is 99, and that is Chris Stedman, 6'4", 180-pound senior. He's standing back at about the 12-yard line, and on the punt returns, it's probably Wallace. It's a end-over-end kick, a good kick against the wind, picked up by Jason Wallace at the 28, 35, 37-yard line. It's a 9-yard return for Wallace, and he is hammered to the turf out there. Nice defensive stop by Brett Kunze for the Blue Valley Rams. So Little River has nice field position to start the football game out. Blue Valley wanted the football. Little River took the win here to start up this football game. The Little River defense looked very, very good at the start of this ball game. Tyson Conan, the quarterback, up over center, takes the snap, hands off to Lafferty. Lafferty goes across the midfield stripe into Blue Valley territory. He's down to about the 38-yard line. Yes, they're going to spot it, just past the 39-yard line. And it's a gain of about 3 yards on the play. It's going to bring up the 2nd down and 7. But Little River into Ram territory already. 10:17 left to go in the first quarter. Redskins send one receiver wide to the far side. Have another receiver in the slot. Conan takes the handoff, gives to Wallace. He goes straight ahead, gets to the 35-yard line where he's knocked to the ground. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3 for the Redskins. Conan with a gain of about 3 yards on the play, 3 or 4 yards, and it brings up a 3rd down and 3. They have to get inside of the 32-yard line for the 1st and 10. Redskins on the attack. Tyler Wharton leads the team up to the line of scrimmage. Double tight end formation. It's Lafferty and Wallace in the backfield. Conan takes the snap, hands off to Wallace. He dives straight ahead, close to the 1st down marker. I think he's got it. He's inside of the 32. And I believe it's a 1st and 10 for the Redskins. Yes, it is a 1st and 10. Now the officials marked the 1st down, and so Little River has the first down of the ball game. And the football setting inside the 32. We'll call it the 31-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Redskins. Football pretty much right in the center of the field. As we said, the playing field in excellent condition here at Salina Stadium. Now Little River sends 2 receivers out wide to the far side. They have a lone setback. Let's see if they put the ball in the air. Conan checks out the defense, takes the snap, hands off to Wallace. No, he fakes the handoff and keeps the football, and he's nailed for a loss. A nice defensive charge by the Blue Valley Rams, and Andy Clark nails him in the backfield for a loss of 2 yards, and that play did not work. Now, Andy Clark is the 2nd leading tackler for the Rams. Andy Clark came into the game with 5 interceptions. The leading tackler, he does it all, Jason Peter, the other linebacker for the team. 2 receivers split out wide, a lone setback. Tyson Conan takes the pitch, now pitches to Wallace. He's trying to get around the corner, keeps his balance, dives for the 1st down marker inside the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Redskins. And now we have a player shaken up on the field. A player shaken up on the field for Blue Valley. And getting up slowly is their quarterback. And the quarterback is Nick Dowell, and he's shaken up, and that would be a big loss for the Blue Valley Rams if their quarterback got knocked out. And he is flat on his back at the 31-yard line. A couple of people tending to him at the 31-yard line. The Redskins did pick up a 1st and 10. The marker set right at the 20-yard line. And so the Redskins will have first and 10 from the 20. But we have timeout on the field for the injured player, and let's go ahead and send it back to the studios for Nick Dowell up on his own feet, walks to the far sideline of Little River, back on the attack. We have Josh Nelson, and now it's a handoff, and going into the end zone, it's a touchdown for Tony Wallets from 20 yards out. Wallets, a beautiful handoff from Conan, blew off the right side of the line and scoots into the end zone, and so Little River is on the scoreboard, 6-0 over the Blue Valley Rams. Now, Little River has not been scored upon in the playoffs. Is this enough to put this game away? Can they stop Blue Valley? I doubt it. Blue Valley's got a real powerful offense. But the Redskins are on the scoreboard with a 6-0 lead on a 20-yard scamper by Tony Wallets. One setback. Conan sets the line, drops back to throw, lobs a quick pass to the end zone. Touch. It's a two-point conversion play. Start to call it a touchdown. It's complete to Chad Lafferty. And so the Redskins have jumped out to an 8-0 lead with 8:21 left to go in the first quarter. Nick Dowell fielded the punt, is nailed at the 12-yard line. Great defensive stop by the Redskins, and the Redskins keep the Blue Valley Rams deep in their own territory. So it's the first and 10 for the Blue Valley Rams at the 12-yard line, and the Redskins leading 8-0. Dowell back in there, takes the snap, gives off to the middle of the line, and he is stacked up and hammered to the turf. Good defensive play by that huge defensive line by the Redskins. It's a gain of about a yard, and so far the Redskins have been able to shut down Jason Peter, and Jason Peter is the offense for the Blue Valley Rams, and if they can keep him in check, it could be a long afternoon for Blue Valley. Blue Valley's only picked up about 8 or 9 yards rushing so far. Dowell takes the snap, hands off to Peter. Peter comes around the near side, gets up to the 15-yard line, but he is tripped up right at the 15, and it's a gain of about 2 yards on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 7 for the Blue Valley Rams, the football just shy of the 15-yard line. 7:29 left to go in the first quarter. Little River leading Blue Valley 8-0. Rams back on the attack. Their center, Charles Anderson, leads the team up to the line scrimmage. Double tied in. Two backs in the backfield. They're split. There's a handoff trying to get outside. He's nailed right at the line of scrimmage. Jason Peter, once again, no gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 4th down and 7 for the Redskins. For the Rams. And so the Redskins defense is once again just totally slammed the brakes on this rushing attack for the Blue Valley Rams. And right now, this football game is all Little River, all Little River. They are dominating here at the early stages. The snap, the punt, it's a horrible kick, goes straight out of bounds, and it's going to be knocked out. It goes out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. And so that is a punt of about 15 yards. And so the Redskins will get possession of the football with great field position. And so the Redskins go on the attack already. Well, they're going to spot the football at the 29-yard line. It went out of bounds quicker than I thought. And so it's 1st and 10 for the Redskins at the 29-yard line. Going out wide to the far side, we've got Josh Nelson. And also split out there is Chris Rochelle. There's a handoff, and he's going to be tripped up at the line of scrimmage. A very short gain on the play. Tony Wallace, the ball carrier, picks up about a yard and nailed right at the line of scrimmage. Now coming out of the lineup for the Redskins is Tony Prose. Going out wide to the far side for the Redskins is Chris Rochelle, and in the slot is Josh Nelson, one back in the backfield. Conan sets the line. Hands off to Wallace, going straight up ahead. He's got running room inside the 20, cuts to the outside, the 15, dives, knocked down at about the 12-yard line. It's a big gain of about 15 yards on the play. 1st and 10 for the Redskins, and Wallace is doing a heck of a job carrying the football, and the Redskins are just blowing the Rams off the field right now here in the early going. Now coming into the lineup for the Redskins, checking into the lineup is Troy Prose coming back out there. Prose, they rotate the plays in and out between Rochelle and Prose. Prose, the split end, and in the slot, Josh Nelson, one back in the eye. That's Tony Wallace. Hand off to Conan. He pitches to Wallace. Wallace across the 10, spins, knocked down inside of the 10, clear to about the 6 or 7 yard line. They've got Chad Lafferty lining up at a tight end position, so they're going with some different looks for this football game against the Blue Valley Rams from Randolph. It's a gain of 4 yards on the play. Let's call it 5. It's a gain of 5. It brings up second down and 5. The Redskins could pick up a first down without scoring the touchdown. The football at the 7-yard line, and they need to get into the 2 for the 1st and 10. Conan up over center, takes the snap, hands off to Wallace. He walks into the end zone practically. Big hole right up the middle. Wallace is in the end zone. Little River has jumped out to a 14-0 lead. 14-0 lead, and that's a 7-yard carry. A 7-yard carry for Wallace once again. And a nice running play right up the gut with 5:02 left to go still in the first quarter, and Little River now with a 14-0 lead over the Blue Valley Rams. Redskins like to put the ball in the air in these two-point conversion plays, but they've had tremendous success running. Conan lobs for the corner. It's complete to Chad Lafferty, who makes a diving catch. A diving catch by Lafferty for the two-point conversion, and it's now 16-0 Little River over the Blue Valley Rams. We'll be back after this 60-second timeout.
Hilltop Seeds of Little River.
McDowell cuts to the outside. Oh, there his feet slid out from underneath. He knocked to the ground also by Tyson Conan. So the Rams take over first and 10 from their own 19-yard line, working against the wind. Double tight end formation, 2 backs in the backfield. They're split. There's a handoff trying to get outside, and being tripped up is for the Rams. Carrying the football was Josh Scott. Josh Scott is tripped up and only about a half-yard gain. And so the Rams have not had any luck moving the football against Little River whatsoever. And so they're going to have to figure out this defense for Little River, see if they can get something going. Back to the line of scrimmage, the Rams come up. This time they have a receiver split out wide to the near side. It's Scott. He goes in motion. There's the snap. Fakes a handoff. They try a reverse. No, the quarterback keeps. He's nailed at the line of scrimmage. No gain, and there's a fumble, and Little River has it. Little River has come up with the loose ball. I'm not sure who fell on the football for the Redskins, but this game is going all Little River here in the early going. Little River is just totally dominating this football game. This could be a blowout if things don't get turned around by the Rams. So it's 1st and 10 for the Redskins at their 20-yard line on a fumble, a big fumble by the Rams, and the Rams just can't get anything going. Conan, one back in the backfield. It's a handoff to Wallace. He's met at the line of scrimmage and falls forward for a gain of about a yard. And so a good defensive stop by the Rams that time. Making the tackle was, making the stop was their a little bit of everything player, Jason Peter. So it's 2nd down and 9 for the Redskins. Coming out wide to the near side is Chris Rochelle. Also coming out wide to the near side for the Redskins is Troy Prose. Conan takes the snap, hands off to Wallace, keeps his feet inside the 15, and there he's going to be swarmed over by a couple of Rams. In on the tackle for the Rams was Dwayne Garrity, is one of the tacklers in on the stop for the Blue Valley Rams. So it's a gain of 4 yards on the play. It brings up a 3rd down and 5. 3rd down and 5. Coming out wide to the near side is Prose and also Nelson. One back in the backfield, that's Wallace. It's a handoff to Wallace. Wallace loses his footing a little bit, dives for the first down marker. He's going to come up a couple yards shy. It's a pickup of about 3 yards on the play, maybe 4. It looks like the officials are going to give him another yard. So it brings up a 4th and 1 from the 11-yard line. 2:48 left to go in the first quarter of play. The Redskins are leading the Rams from Blue Valley 16-0, and it's been all Redskins here in the first quarter. Coming up to the line of scrimmage is the center, Tyler Wharton. Has 2 backs split out wide to the far side. The tailback is Wallace. Conan, is nailed in the backfield, and I think that was a busted play. They act like they're going to hand it off to Wallace. He missed the ball or went something else, and Tyson Conan was nailed at the 15-yard line, and so the ball will go over to the Rams on the 4th down play, and so that, I believe, is a busted play for the Redskins, but they turn the football over on downs to the Blue Valley Rams. And let's see if that defensive stop can give the Rams a little enthusiasm out there on the field. Taking the snap is the quarterback. There's a handoff to the fullback, Josh Scott's the ball carrier, and he is nailed for just a short gain, maybe a yard and a half. Well, let's call it 2 yards, and so it brings up a 2nd down and 8. But this Little River defense has been awesome. Right in the middle of the field is big Chad Elwood, 420 pounds, and for a big kid, he can move pretty good. He's really done a good job of blocking, and then in linebackers right behind the line of scrimmage is Wallace and Lafferty. Handoff, there's a fake handoff. Keeping the ball is the quarterback trying to get outside. He's going to be nailed after a gain of about a yard. Nick Dowell only able to pick up a yard as the defensive secondary for the Redskins reacted quickly and shut down the corner. And at the gain of a yard, it brings up a 3rd down and 7. And right now, the Blue Valley Rams have not been able to move the football at all against this Little River defense. They have been awesome. That front line, Charlie Shell, Chad Elwood, John Hodson, the linebackers of Lafferty and Wallace, and in the defensive backfield, Troy Prose, Jason Wallace, and Josh Nelson. There's a pitch, and trying to get some room on the running room on the outside, and diving up close to the 1st down is Josh Scott. Scott up to about the 24-yard line. He's going to be shy of the 1st down marker, and it's going to bring up a 4th down and 1. Chad Lafferty makes the tackle for the Redskins. And let's see, will the Rams go for it or will they punt the ball away? Very dangerous territory to go for it at the 24-yard line, and they're going to punt the football away into this wind. Now, the last punt got caught by the wind and went almost straight out of bounds for a very little gain. And now we have we have a timeout called by Blue Valley, and so the coaches want to talk it over. Mike Teeter walks out on the field to talk to his players. We'll send a kick, and it's going to come down at about the 30-yard line, 29-yard, finally rolls dead, whereas down by the quarterback, Nick Dowell, for the Rams. And so the Redskins will take possession of the football at their own 29-yard line. 32 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play. The Redskins will have 32 seconds with the wind at their back. And, of course, the Redskins have only thrown a couple of pass plays, basically a couple of them for 2-point conversions. So the Redskins keeping the ball on the ground. Now they have Lafferty in at fullback and Wallace in at tailback, double tight in formation. It's a handoff to Lafferty. He has running room across the 40, dragging people down to the 36-yard line. He had 2 players hanging on to his ankles, and he pulled them for 4 yards. Chad Lafferty, 6'3", 230 pounds, and he just drug bodies for 4 yards for a nice gain, and it's a 1st and 10 for the Redskins. He took it at the 29 and gained 15 yards on the play. So now the Redskins back in Ram territory at the 36-yard line. Conan takes the snap, hands off to Wallace. Wallace slipped, and that's about the only thing that stopped Wallace all day long. He slipped in the backfield and fell forward for maybe a yard, but Wallace tripped up, and that's the end of the first quarter of play. Our score, Little Linus Stadium, second quarter about ready to get underway. The Redskins from Little River leading Blue Valley 16-0. The Redskins have the football, 2nd down and 9, the football at the 35-yard line. Conan takes the snap, hands off to Lafferty. Lafferty still on his feet, dives forward close to the 1st down marker. He's down to about the 28-yard line. Needs to get down to the 26 or 27, so it's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 2. 3rd and 2 for the Redskins. But Lafferty, the big fullback, now lining up in his typical position and bowling straight ahead for a nice gain of about 7 yards on the play. 2 backs in the backfield, Lafferty and Wallace. Conan takes the snap. It's a handoff to Wallace. Wallace hit at the line of scrimmage, trying to fall forward for the 1st down. I think he's going to be short. In on the tackle for the Rams is, excuse me here, having a little hard time to find. Well, I don't see a number that I thought made the tackle, so I'm not sure who made the stop for the Rams on that play. But it's going to bring up a 4th down and 1. 4th down and 1 for the Redskins. The football at the 27. They have to get to the 26. And guess what? They're going for it. That's right. I think they'll just hand it to Lafferty, as he has not been stopped going up the middle. Conan, hand off to Lafferty. He bowls straight ahead, fighting for the yardage. I think he's got the 1st and 10, but the Rams kind of read my mind, I think, and they realized that Lafferty's probably going to get the football, but it looks like he got close to the 25-yard line. He is about 6 inches shy of the 25. It should be a 1st and 10 for the Redskins. It is. It's a 1st and 10 for the Redskins. So they keep the drive alive, the football at the 26. 10:48 left to go in the second quarter. Redskins are leading Blue Valley 16-0, and this game has been all Redskins to this point in time. The Redskins have not been scored upon in the playoffs, and they kept this trend alive. They're leading 16-0. What a dominating football team for Shane Cordell and the Little River Redskins. But this ball game's not over. A very powerful offense for the Rams from Blue Valley. Conan takes the snap, hands off to Wallace. He has some running room and gets down to the 20-yard line. It's going to be a gain of close to 6 yards. And now we have a flag thrown right at the end of the play. And I'm not sure what the call is. We have a face mask. It's going to be called against Blue Valley, and so it's going to be a big penalty against the Blue Valley Rams. And I think that'll take it down half the distance to the goal, and that will give the Redskins a first down and great position on the field. It is. It's a 1st and 10 for the Redskins. The football, make that a 1st and goal for the Redskins. The nose of the football just inside of the 10-yard line. So it's 1st and goal for the Redskins with 10:33 left to go in the first half. Wharton the center, Conan the quarterback, Wallace the tailback, Chad Lafferty lining up at a tight end position, and split out wide to the far side is Josh Nelson and Troy Prose. 10:33 in the second quarter. Redskins leading 16-0. Conan sets his offensive line, hands off to Wallace. Wallace dives down inside the 10, wrestles to the turf. Wallace gained maybe 2-3 yards on the play, where he is knocked to the ground out there by the defensive players for the Randolph players. Adam Johnson, a 210-pound senior, knocked him to the ground. The leading tackler, or the man leading the charge, and it's going to be a gain of about 2, so it brings up a 2nd down and goal from the 8-yard line. Wallace the tailback. Conan hands off. No, he runs inside the 5, diving for the goal line, just a little short. He hit the ground at about the 1.5 2-yard line, and he was just tripped up from getting into the end zone. Tyson Conan, the quarterback, almost dove into the end zone, and so it's going to bring up a 3rd and goal from about the 1.5 line. 9:40 left to go in the first half of play. I'll tell you what, it is getting cold out there. Our windows are now totally defrosted, and one of the windows open so the coaches from Blue Valley can film the game, and it's getting chilly up here in the press box. Should have brought a heater along. Looks like motion before the handoff. Yes, there is flags thrown on the play. The backfield for the Redskins moved before the snap of the ball. The officials blew the play dead, and so it is illegal procedure against the Redskins. And so those are the penalties that cause you to pull your hair out, as the Redskins were knocking on the door at about the 1-yard line, and that penalty pushes it back to the 6-yard line. You just hate to see those flags flying when you're deep in enemy territory like that and just about ready to score. So now the Redskins are 3rd down and 6 from the 6-yard line. 3rd and goal from the 6, I guess I should say. And now trying to dive for the end zone is Conan. He lost his footing, and Conan falls to the turf at about the 4-yard line. So it's going to be 4th and goal from we'll call it the 3-yard line. 4th and goal from the 3. And so what will the Redskins do? Coming into the lineup with the play is Josh Nelson. And the Redskins are going to go for it. I haven't seen them kick all year long. They don't have to. They usually just score 2-point conversion plays. Lafferty, the fullback. Conan, the tailback. Conan, the quarterback. Wallace, the tailback. Now, Conan keeps the snap, gives to Wallace. He's in the end zone. It's a touchdown from 3 yards out. Tyson Conan pitched the football to Wallace, and Wallace walked into the end zone unscathed, and Little River has jumped out to a 22-point lead. A 22-point lead. It's been all Little River this whole game. And that touchdown from 3 yards out with 8:10 left to go in the second quarter. So now Redskins going for the 2-point conversion. What a powerhouse football team this is. Redskins have one receiver split out wide to the far side. Conan sets the line, drops back to throw, looks, fires in the corner. Caught by Chad Lafferty, and Conan to Lafferty for another 2-point conversion. And folks, it's 24-0 Little River over Blue Valley. We'll be back after this.
Your lumberyard needs. See Gallion Brothers Construction in Little River.
Welcome back to Salina Stadium. The Redskins are routing the Blue Valley Rams 24-0. There's the kick. It's a wobbly kick. Looks like it could go out of bounds. No, it's going to. Does it roll dead? Does it stay in bounds? I don't know. That's right on the edge. I think it got knocked out of bounds. Was it touched? Well, the officials have thrown a flag, and so it looks like the we'll have to let them sort it out there. That ball almost rolled dead before going out of bounds, and of course that's a live football, and so there's a big pileup of players going for the football. The kick by Chris Rochelle was it was kind of a spinner. It kind of went off the side of his foot, and it hit and bounced straight towards the goal line. But it's going to be a penalty against the Redskins, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Blue Valley Rams at the 20-yard line. A 5-yard penalty, and they'll take possession of the football there. No, I guess they're going to say it's knocked out of bounds there, and they picked up the flag, no penalty. And so the ball is spotted at the 21-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Rams. Quarterback for the Rams, Nick Dowell, takes the snap, pitches to Jason Peter. Peter can't find any running room, cuts upfield. Now the ball pops loose, but I think Blue Valley fell on the football. One of the Rams is right there, and the ball landed right in his hands. Covering up that fumble was Adrian Roddy, and so it's a gain of 5 yards. Is a gain of 5 yards on the play, or make it 4, and it's going to bring up a second down and 6 for the Rams. 7:44 left to go in the first half of play. Little River leading Blue Valley 24-0. Both of these teams undefeated coming into this football game this afternoon, battling for the Division I 8-man championship. And right now the Little River Redskins have the upper hand. Quarterback Nick Dowell keeps the football. Looked like he was thinking about throwing it, but he falls to the ground, and it's a gain of maybe a yard or two. They're going to spot it at about the 28-yard line, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 4 for the Rams. 3rd down and 4. I don't know if the Rams even have a first down in this football game yet. They do not have a first down. It has been all Little River. The Rams have been 3 downs and out during this whole first half. Just a dominating performance by the Redskins. Dowell takes the pitch. Now passes hands off to Peter. He tries to cut back upfield. He's nailed for maybe no gain, and it's going to bring up a 4th down and 3. And this Little River defensive team is just totally shutting down the Rams. No offense whatsoever for the Rams. And to give you an idea, Jason Peter came into the game with almost 1,900 yards. He had 705 yards rushing in the first 3 playoff games, averaging 235 yards a game. He doesn't have diddly squat. There's the snap. It's a good snap, fielded. The punt is a booming kick with the wind at the back. It bounces into the end zone, and so the Little River Redskins will take possession of the football 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. So Chris Stedman just knocked the stuffing out of that football, and of course has a nice strong cold wind out of his back, out of the north. And so the Redskins will take possession of the football at the 15-yard line, 1st and 10. As we said earlier, Little River has not been scored upon in the playoffs. And in the playoffs, I had the figures figured out. Little River has outscored their opponents 130-0 coming into the game. Make that 154-0 at this time in the playoffs. Blue Valley 103-34. Now they've given up 24 more points, so it's 103-57. Conan trying to keep the football, get to the outside. He's nailed in the backfield for a loss. Nice defensive play by Dowell. Dowell nails Conan in the backfield for a loss of about a yard, and it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 11. 6 minutes left to go in the first half of play. 24-0 our score. The Redskins going for another state championship. Their last one coming in 1981. They were runners-up last year, and that's the last loss the Redskins have had. Conan, 2 backs in the backfield, Lafferty and Wallace. Hands off to Wallace. Wallace skirts to the outside, trying to find some running room. Can't. Picks up maybe a yard or two, but a good defensive stand by the Blue Valley Rams. And the Rams starting to stiffen on defense a little bit. And Little River, they're only at the 16-yard line. And if they have to punt, they're going into a pretty brisk wind out of the north. And so it could be a tough position for the Redskins. Trotting into the lineup is Troy Prose with the play. Head coach Shane Cordell trying to come up with a little magic here to pick up this first down at 3rd and 9. Prose coming out wide to the near side along with Josh Nelson, 1 back in the eye, and it's going to be a handoff to Wallace, and Wallace gets up to the 20-yard line. He's going to be well short of the first down, a gain of maybe 3 or 4 yards on the play, and the Redskins are going to have to punt the football away. And Chad Lafferty or Chris Rochelle will be back to do the punting, and Lafferty's coming to the near sideline, so Rochelle will be doing the punting. And dropping back in punt return formation is Nick Dowell for the Rams. Standing back at the... it's a bad snap, and now it's loose on the ground. It's going to be picked up by the Rams at the 12-yard line, and so a busted play. I'm not sure if they were trying to pull a fast one or not, but the ball was a bad snap from center, any way you look at it, and the ball pops loose, and it's going to be recovered by the Rams at the 12-yard line, and so it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Rams, just 12 yards away from the end zone. This is the break that the Blue Valley Rams have needed all throughout the game, but the Rams have not picked up a 1st and 10, and see if they can move the football deep in the territory. Nick Dowell, the quarterback, takes the snap, hands off to the big running back. He bowls ahead, breaks tackles, dives down close to the 5-yard line. Jason Peter nailed at about the 6, and so it's a gain of about 6 yards on the play, and we'll bring up a 2nd down and 4. Now, this is the Jason Peter we've been hearing about. He just kind of rumbled for about 6 yards on that play, and so it brings up a 2nd down and a long 4, the football at about the 6-7 yard line. Dowell takes the snap, hands off to Peter. Peter cuts upfield, hit at the 5, falls forward to about the 2 or 3 yard line. He should have a 1st and goal for the Blue Valley Rams. In on the tackle was Rochelle for the, and now the officials are going to bring the chains in to measure for the 1st and 10, and I think they've got it, but we'll see what the chains say. 3:44 left to go in the first half of play. They stretch out the chains. It's going to be really close by the nose of a football. It's a 1st down for the Rams from Blue Valley and Randolph. Blue Valley, of course, is the big Blue River that creates Tuttle Creek, and Randolph, the Randolph Bridge going across Tuttle Creek, to give you an idea where the school is located, just north of Manhattan, about 20 miles. Dowell takes the snap, gives a handoff, diving for the end zone. We have a touchdown for the Blue Valley Rams, and the Redskins have finally given up some points here in the playoffs. Jason Peter bowls his way into the end zone from 3 yards out. So Blue Valley gets on the scoreboard. It's going to be Jason Peter getting into the end zone on a 3-yard run. And so now Blue Valley, and that score coming with 3:36 left to go in the first quarter, and that makes it 24-6. Now Blue Valley going for a 2-point conversion. There's the pitch, guy going into the end zone, touchdown. Or, excuse me, 2-point conversion is successful. Dwayne Garrity rumbles into the end zone for the 2-point conversion, and that makes our score Little River. That's going to be a touchback for the Redskins. Chris Rochelle caught the football in the end zone, went down to a knee, and so the Redskins will take possession of the football 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. 3 minutes and 36 seconds left to go in the first half. 24-8 our score. Blue Valley getting on the scoreboard after getting possession of the football from 12 yards out. There's a handoff to Wallace, and Wallace is going to be nailed and rudely treated for no gain, and all of a sudden Blue Valley starting to get fired up. Jason Peter leading the charge for the Blue Valley Rams. Also in on the stop was Adrian Roddy. And so it's a gain of about a yard, and so it brings up a 2nd down and 9 with the football at the 16-yard line. Two backs split out wide to the far side. Conan takes the snap, gives off to Wallace, and he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of a yard, and all of a sudden Blue Valley is starting to fire up a little bit after that touchdown, and so this game could start to tighten up a little bit the way it's going right now. Two minutes and 41 seconds left to go in the first half of play. 24-8 the score. 3rd down and 7 for the Redskins. The football setting at the 17.5 yard line, and momentum has swung around to Blue Valley. Let's see if Little River can do something to snap this momentum. Hand off to Wallace. Wallace across the 20, cuts upfield, 25, 1st down for the Redskins. Tony Wallace went around the near side and picks up about 7, 8 yards on the play. 1st and 10 for the Redskins. The football spotted at the 27-yard line. And so that keeps the Redskin drive alive and gives a little bit more momentum back to their side. Tyler Wharton leads his ball club up to the line of scrimmage. Going out wide to the far side is Chris Rochelle. Also Troy Prose in the slot. one back in the eye. Conan takes the snap, hands off to Tony Wallace. He falls forward for about a yard, and Blue Valley defense recovers quickly on that one and nails Wallace for a gain of about a yard. Leading the charge was Adrian Roddy once again for the Rams of Blue Valley Randolph. 24-8 our score. A minute 42 left to go in the first half of play. Jogging into the lineup for the Redskins, Josh Nelson, one of the ends. So Nelson and Pros go out wide to the far side. One back in the eye. Conan, the quarterback. And yes, one of the Blue Valley Rams jumped off sides, and that's a 5-yard penalty for the Rams. It looked like they were going to blitz on that play, and they just timed their blitz a little bit prematurely, and the yellow flag hit the turf as they broke the plane out there, and so it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 4 for the Redskins. So a big break for the Redskins, as the first play didn't go very far. It only picked up a yard, but 5 yards via penalty, and it brings up a 2nd down and 4. Two backs split out wide to the far side. Rams threatening blitz. There's the dive straight up the middle by Wallace. Wallace across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. It's going to be close to enough yardage for the 1st and 10. Let's see where the officials spot it. It is a 1st and 10 for the Redskins. So now the Redskins putting together a drive. This drive started at the 15-yard line. They now got it all the way out to the 38-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Redskins. The ball about 3 yards shy of the midfield stripe. Double tight in formation, two backs in the eye. It's Lafferty and Wallace. Conan hands off. No, he fakes a handoff. Keeps Conan trying to break tackles. Gets across the 40 down to about the 38-yard line. And it's going to be a gain of about 5 yards on the play by Tyson Conan, the big, strong quarterback for the Redskins. Tyson Conan, 176-pound senior, a returning letterman from last year's runner-up team. And this year, the Redskins want to bring home the gold. They're going for another state championship. What a performance. What a tremendous career by Shane Cordell, the coach. Participating in a couple state championships as a player. He's already won one as a coach on football and looking for a second one. There's a handoff to Wallace. Wallace trying to get outside, picks up 2-3 yards on the play, finally knocked to the ground by Jason Peter. It's going to be a gain of about 3 yards on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 4. 3rd down and 4, the football at the 37-yard line. 33 seconds left to go in the first half. Wonder if the Redskins will put it up in the air to save this time. They'd like to put some more points on the board. Chris Rochelle into the lineup for the Redskins. Double tight in formation. Lafferty and Wallace, the backs. Conan takes the snap. He's dropping back to throw. Looking, has lots of time. Fires a long pass out. The wind catches it. Oh, and almost picked off. Almost picked off. It should have been picked off by the Blue Valley Rams. Josh Scott had it in his hands, but just couldn't hang on to it, and he should have intercepted the ball. Actually, Conan threw the ball, and the wind just knocked it down. All of a sudden, the wind has come up. It's a lot stronger than it was earlier, and it is really getting cold. It almost looks like sleet coming down out there right now, and so the cold front is blasted through the Salina area. The wind has really picked up, and the pass does stop the clock with 26 seconds left. 4th down and 4 for the Redskins. The football at the 37-yard line. Same formation as before. They try a reverse. They could have some running room. Nope. Nelson is going to be hammered to the turf for no gain on the play. And so the Blue Valley Rams from Randolph will take over possession of the football with 20 seconds remaining in the first half of play. 1st and 10. The football spotted at the 35-yard line. So the Rams, who just don't throw the football hardly at all. They've only thrown, I think, 27 passes coming into this ball game, are looking at being 45 yards away from the goal line with 20 seconds remaining. Now, I'll tell you this, with the wind blowing at the back, if they picked up 10 or 15 yards, they could almost go for a field goal. Dowell takes the snap, dropping back to throw, looking, fires, oh, that is a wiffle ball, but it's caught. Oh, my goodness. Nick Dowell threw the football, and it was spinning around like an end-over-end punt. But coming back and catching the football was Darren Roethlisberger, and it's a 1st and 10 for the Rams, and now the Rams call timeout. That pass was completed all the way down to the 23-yard line. It was not the prettiest pass I've ever seen. I mean, it was really fluttering around kind of sideways. kind of looked like one of those wobbly end-over-end, strange-looking punts, but it connected for a big gain on the play of, let me see, 5, 10, 15, 20. It's about a 22-yard gain. Now, score in the 5A championship game that we heard, big interest here in the Salina area. Liberal leading Salina 6-0. Early score from that 5A championship game. In this ball game, 12 seconds left to go. 24-8 the score. 1st and 10 for the Rams. The football at the 23-yard line. Blue Valley's got 2 receivers split out wide to the far side. They don't normally throw the football. That might have been one of their best pass plays of this season. Dropping back to throws now. He's got time. Fires a wounded duck up over the middle, and it lands not within about 10 or 15 yards of anybody, right in the middle of the end zone, incomplete, and that stops the clock with 6 seconds left to go in the first half. 24-8. The Rams have time for one more play. The football at the 22-yard line, and let's see. They are going to try a field goal, it looks like. I told you, with this strong wind out of the north, they might have a shot at it from this range. The ball is setting at the 22. They take it back 7 yards. It's going to be placed, well, they've got it all the way back. They've got it back 10 yards instead of 7, so they're making it a lot worse than it is. The ball spotted at the 33-yard line. It's a high snap. The kick is down. It's up. It's wobbly. It's no good. And so that's the end of the, no, there's 1 second left on the clock. 1 second left on the clock. Normally they take a field goal back, like 7 yards from the position. They spotted it 10 yards deep and tacked on an extra 3 yards on that field goal attempt and made it a 43-yard attempt. But it was wide to the left and a little short. But the Redskins have 1 tick left on the clock. Do you think they'd go for a big play right here with 1 tick left? Hey, what the heck? It's the state championship game. No, they're not going to. They got the guys tucked in there. They're going to take the snap and go to one knee. So Conan up tight, surrounded by players, a tightly packed formation. Conan takes the snap, goes to one knee, and that's the end of the first half of play. Our score, Little River Redskins 24, the Blue Valley Rams are 8. We'll be back with more after this 2-minute timeout.
Kansas taxpayers are demanding accountability in public education, and nowhere is that accountability.
We have the Division I 8-man state championship football game today on KGGG, K-Gold, Oldies 94.7. And the first half, well, it was Little River most of the way, but Blue Valley, after getting the football at the 12-yard line, put a touchdown on the board with 3:36 remaining in the first half of play and showed a little bit more spirit. And so I think we still have a football game on our hands, but right now it's Little River 24 and Blue Valley Randolph 8. For all you K-State fans out there, in case you haven't heard, the K-State Wildcats are leading Iowa State 28-10 at halftime. And the Cats, if they win this football game, that will be the 4th year in a row that K-State has won 9 games or more that will be playing in the Cotton Bowl on New Year's Day. And I'm going to go down there and watch me a football game from Dallas. Ought to be a lot of fun. So the Cats, one of the few teams in the country that has won 9 games or more over the last 4 years. There's only 7 teams in the country that have won 9 games or more over the last 3 seasons. So a very elite group of football teams able to win 9 games or more in 4 years in a row. So the Cats and Bill Snyder looking pretty good right now to go to that Cotton Bowl, leading 28-10 at halftime. 24-8 our score here at Salina. And right now we're going to recap the scoring for you in the first half of play. The Redskins got on the scoreboard first on a 20-yard run by Wallace. Tony Wallace scampered in the end zone from 20 yards out, that coming with 8:21 remaining in the first quarter of play. Then Tyson Conan lofted a little pass into the end zone to Chad Lafferty, a good 2-point conversion, and so the Redskins led Blue Valley 8-0. The next touchdown was a 7-yard run by Tony Wallace. That touchdown run coming with 5:02 remaining in the first quarter of play. Little River now out to a 14-0 lead. This time it was once again similar play. Tyson Conan to Chad Lafferty, 2-point conversion play. It was good, so the Redskins jumped out to a 16-0 lead. And it almost sounds like a broken record. Coming up on our next score was a 3-yard run by Wallace, and that coming with 8:10 remaining in the second quarter. And that gave the Redskins a 22-0 lead. Once again, that Conan to Lafferty connection, good for a 2-point conversion. So the Redskins jumped out to a 24-0 lead, and it looked like this game could have been almost a mercy killing at halftime. The Redskins were looking strong. But the Redskins came down and had some problems moving the football. They were stopped deep in their own territory. I don't know if they tried to run a fake punt or if the snap was bad, but whatever happened, the ball was lost deep in their own territory. Blue Valley took possession at the 12-yard line and put the ball into the end zone, and that was a 3-yard run by Jason Peter with 3:36 left to go in the second quarter. That made the score 24-6, and then Garrity ran into the end zone on kind of an end sweep, and that gave the Blue Valley team a successful two-point conversion. So our score at halftime, 24-8. 24-8. First half dominated by the Little River Redskins, except for the last 3 minutes when the Blue Valley Rams were able to put together that 12-yard drive. But a very impressive performance by the Redskins. But their shutout streak of 3 playoff games in a row finally busted by the Rams. Once again, Little River, they have won quite a few championships over the years. And talking about a great championship record, Shane Cordell played on the Little River teams that won the championships in 1970 and 71. Then he coached their team to a title in 1981. And, of course, Shane Cordell has like 3 championships in a row for the Little River Redskins ladies basketball team. Last year, the Redskins were runner-up in the state. This year, they're leading 24-8, and so they could tack another championship plaque on the wall at Little River High School and another notch in the belt for Shane Cordell. Right now, we're going to send it back to the end kick. It's going to be picked up by Nick Dowell at the 5. He's at the 15, cuts back upfield to 20, trying to get outside. It's going to be wrestled to the turf at the 20-yard line. The ball pops loose, but they're saying the ground caused the fumble. And Nick Dowell brings it out to the 20. Tyson Conan making the stop for the Redskins. First and 10 from the 21-yard line. Just looking at the Redskins warming up at halftime, and I do mean warming up, it's kind of interesting to look at the contrast on the team between Chad Elwood, 420 pounds, and Brandon Fisher, 95 pounds. A little difference in size there, only in high school football. There's the give to Jason Peter. Peter trying to get to the outside, picks up 2 or 3 yards, and knocks to the turf. It's a gain. They're going to spot it at about the 23-yard line, so it's going to be a 2-yard gain. Brings up a second down and 8. That's the one thing. The Redskin defense has done a great job of shutting Jason Peter off. Jason Peter came into the game averaging almost 1,900 yards a game. A defensive front wall for the Redskins doing a heck of a job, anchored by Chad Elwood right in the middle, 420-pound senior. There's a handoff to Peter, and Peter is knocked to the ground by Elwood, and Elwood, a big stop, and just nailed Peter for a gain of maybe a yard or 2. But if Chad Elwood gets his hands on you, you're dead. I mean, he can really knock you to the turf in a hurry. So it brings up a 3rd down and 7 situation. The football sitting at the 24-yard line. They've got to get it up to the 1. 3rd down and 7 for the Rams. Come up to the line, double tight end formation. The backs are split. There's a handoff. Trying to get to the near side. Nailed shy of the 25-yard line. A great defensive tackle out there by the Redskins. Leading the charge for the Redskins was Jason Wallace. Garrity carrying the football, knocked to the ground with the nose of the football at the 25, so it brings up a 4th down and 6. And now the Rams are going to have to punt into this brisk wind out of the north. So the back and punt formation. Stedman takes the snap. It's a good snap. There's a flag thrown. It's a line drive kick, bouncing around on the ground, and it's going to go dead at about the 28-29-yard line. 28-29-yard line, but a flag on the field at the 22-yard line, and we'll see what this penalty is going to be. It's going to be illegal procedure against the Rams, and so that's going to mark off 5 more yards and force, well, let's see if they accept the penalty. It was not a very good kick, and so, yes, they're going to take it back. And so this is going to move the ball back to about the 20-yard line. They were 4th and 6 at the 25, so they spot the football at the 20, and they're going to have to kick it all over again. Chris Stedman, 180-pound senior, will be punting the football. Stedman will be standing back at about the 8 or 9-yard line, kicking into a strong north wind. Back deep to return is Wallace. There's a snap. It's a good snap. Oh, almost cutting in there and blocking the kick, and now we're going to have a flag called. It's going to be roughing the kicker, and the football is going to be downed at the 28-yard line, but blasting through the line of scrimmage was Tony Wallace, and he clobbered Stedman. Wallace, I don't know how he missed the football because he was all over Stedman, but he just dove for the football and missed and ran into Stedman, and it's going to be a roughing the kicker call. It's going to be a 15-yard mark-off, and I believe that'll be enough yardage for the 1st and 10. There's no running into the kicker in high school football. They're all 15-yard penalties, and so the Rams will get a break on the roughing the kicker call, and it will give the Rams a 1st and 10. And a 1st and 10 for the Rams is kind of like a newsflash because they've only had, 1 or 2 first downs. They've had 3 first downs in the game, and Little River's had like 15 or 20 first downs so far. So a game dominated statistically by the Redskins. 1st and 10 for the Rams at the 35-yard line. There's a handoff, a big pile up in the middle of the field, a gain of maybe a yard or 2. And this is just a good old-fashioned muddy football game. These guys, you can tell they've been in a fight because they are mud from head to toe. The white uniforms for the Blue Valley Rams aren't white anymore. Could make a cheer commercial out of this one, I'm afraid. And, those players, even though the wind is blowing like crazy, the wind chill's probably getting down close to maybe, I don't know, in the 0 to 10 range. The mist is coming down. I bet the players aren't even noticing the cold. There's a handoff to Peter. He's got running room. He's at the 30, the 25, the 20, 10, 5. Going to be drugged down from behind at about the 7-yard line. But Jason Peter finally broke a long one. Jason Peter scampers for about a 45-yard gallop, and the ball is going to be spotted 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. But that's the biggest play of the game for the Blue Valley Rams. And they get a 1st and goal at the 7-yard line, and big Jason Peter finally broke a long one. And if they put some points on the board, we've got a football game. We could be back in the business here with a football game. Nick Dowell takes the snap. It's a handoff to Peter, trying to get outside, pulls his way to the goal line. It's going to be stopped just shy of the goal line. Boy, he was close. I mean, it looks like they're going to spot the football just right up against the goal line. Oh, wait, excuse me. It stopped at the 5. Excuse me. I thought he picked up more yardage than he did, and he went way around to the far side, but only picked up about a yard or 2 on the play. I thought it was the goal line, so got a little miscombobulated there, and so it's going to bring up a 2nd down and goal from the 5-yard line for the Rams. Dowell takes the snap, hands off to Garrity. Garrity's still on his feet, diving for the end zone. He's going to be spotted at about the 1-yard line, and so now the Rams are knocking on the door. And this time they are close to the goal line. The ball is going to be spotted at about from the 2-yard line. So they picked up 3 yards on the play, so it's a 3rd down and 2. So the Redskins need to make a big goal line stand. If they can stop the Rams, they could maybe just about put this football game away, but if the Rams get in there, we've got a real live football game. Dowell hands off to Peter. He's nailed. He's still on his feet, fighting for yardage. He's in the end zone. Jason Peter pulls his way into the end zone. It's a touchdown for the Blue Valley Rams, and that makes the score 24-14. And don't leave us. We've got a football game. So Blue Valley has now scored the last 2 touchdowns, and that's a 3-yard carry by Jason Peter. And that score coming with 7:51 remaining in the 3rd quarter of play. And like I say, it makes the score 24-14, and now the Rams going for a 2-point conversion. Dowell takes the snap, rolling to the inside, sees the end zone. He fumbles the football, and he's going to be stopped just shy of the goal line. Dowell looked like he might made it into the end zone, but the ball slipped out of his hands, and he's nailed shy of the goal line, and so the 2-point conversion fails. And our score is Little River 24, Blue Valley Randolph 14. We'll be back after this timeout.
The officers of the
fielded at the 20-yard line and being nailed out there, doing a good job of just covering up the football and retaining possession for the Redskins was Jason Wallace. And so the Redskins take possession of the football, 1st and 10 at the 20. On the K-State game, it's now 28-12. And from the 5A game, Liberal leads Salina Central 12-7. Here it's 24-14. Blue Valley Rams scratching their way back into this football game. Conan takes the snap, pitches to Wallace. Wallace cuts upfield. He's the 25, the 27-yard line. Quick move by Wallace. Amazing he can get that sharp a cut out there on this muddy turf, but he cut it upfield for about a 7-yard gain. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 3. 7:33 left to go in the third quarter of play. Little River leading Blue Valley 24-14. Blue Valley stopped on that 2-point conversion play. Nick Dowell diving for the end zone. The ball popped loose, and he was nailed just shy of the end zone, and that could be a big play in this game, as these teams always go for the 2-point conversions. There's the handoff to Lafferty, and Lafferty bowls his way across the 30. It's good for a 1st and 10 up to about the 31-yard line. Getting up off the bottom of the stack for the Rams, making the tackle out there. Looks like it's Adrian Roddy. And so it's 1st and 10 for the Redskins, the ball at the 31-yard line. 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter of play. 10-point lead for the Redskins. Tyson Conan has 2 backs in the eye. Hands off to Lafferty. Lafferty trying to go straight up the middle. He's going to be wrestled down for a gain of maybe a yard or so, but a good stop by the center of that Blue Valley defensive line, Adam Johnson, Adrian Roddy, in there plugging up the hole. And it's a gain of about a yard and a half. And Chad Lafferty's hard to stop for a yard and a half gain. 230-pound fullback. He's strong as an ox, but that time he didn't get much. 2 backs in the eye, double tight in formation. Lafferty and Wallace. There's a handoff. No, they fake the handoff. Conan keeps. He's across the 35, dives up to about the 38-yard line. It's a gain of about 4 or 5 yards on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3. 3rd down and 3 for the Redskins. Well, they're going to put it back at the, they're going to spot it at the 38-yard line. They need to get to the opposing 38, so it's going to be a 3rd down and, well, about 3. 3rd down and about 3 for the Redskins. 5:56 left to go in the third quarter. 24-14 our score. Backs are split in the backfield. Tyson Conan, the quarterback, sets the line, takes the snap, hands off to Wallace. Wallace fighting for yard. He gets across the midfield stripe, and he stopped there. And it's going to bring up a 4th down and about a yard and a half to go for the Redskins. They spot the football just inside of the 40 at about the 39.5-yard line, and they need to get to about the 38.5-yard line. So it's 4th down and 1. We'll see if the Redskins go for it or if they punt the football away. Right in the middle of the football field, the Redskins are going to go for it. This could be a big play right here. This could be a big play in the outcome of this football game. Conan sets the line. Now there's movement on the line of scrimmage, and Chris Rochelle jumped off sides for the Redskins, and then the Blue Valley team jumped, but I believe Rochelle started it, and so this is going to be false start against Chris Rochelle and the Little River Redskins. So it's going to bring up a 4th down and 6, and now the Redskins are going to go into punt formation. Now Rochelle will do the punting. He's going to be standing back at about the 25. He's got a very strong wind out of the north at his back. Actually, he's going to go back to about the 22 or 23. The snap, and it is Tony Wallace back there. It was a high snap. He just barely gets the ball away, but he does, and it's way for a fair catch at the 15-yard line. I thought that was Rochelle doing the punting, but it's Tony Wallace, and the high snap almost went over his head. He caught it. A couple of Rams blew up the middle, and Wallace just barely got the kick away, and then the Rams wait for a fair catch and caught the football at the 15-yard line. So the football would have been spotted at the 15 if it's gone into the end zone or not, and so the Rams will take possession of the football, 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line, working against this strong wind out of the north. And I don't know about the players, but it's getting cold, and I bet the players are noticing well, they're probably not noticing. They're probably concentrating so much on the game, who notices the cold? Jason Peter takes the handoff, dives across the 15 up to about the 18-yard line. It's a gain of about 3 yards on the play. Jason Peter made a big run on the previous possession for the Rams. He picked up about 45 yards and got him clear down to about the 5 or 6 yard line. That's the biggest run of the game for the Rams. Chad Elwood, the nose guard for the Redskins, clogging up that middle. The backs are split in the backfield. Dowell takes the snap, hands off to Garrity. Garrity stripped up at the line of scrimmage, maybe falls forward for about a yard up to about the 19-yard line. And so it's going to bring up a 3rd down Third down and 6 for the Rams. 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter of play. 24-14. The Rams working from the south to the north against this strong wind and these cold, cold playing conditions here at Salina Stadium. Now we have a timeout called by one of the officials, and I'm not sure what's going on here. We have, we're going to have a timeout called by the Blue Valley Rams, and so football, keeping the football is Dowell. Nick Dowell dives for the sidelines. It's going to be just shy of the first down marker. It's about 4.5 yards to go, the football at the 24-yard line. So 4.5 yards to go for the Blue Valley Rams. The football setting at the 24.5 line. Are the Rams going to go for it? They sure are. They're trailing by 10. This could be a huge play. If the Redskins can stop them, they'll have great field position. Dowell takes the snap, hands off to Peter. Peter bowls away across the 25 to the 27. First and 10 for the Blue Valley Rams. And so a big first down for the Rams to keep possession of the football. Kind of gutsy. They went for it at their own 24-yard line, but they need to get some points on the board. And the clock winding down. We are in the third quarter. Really a pretty risky call with 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter, but they want to keep going. And of course, Jason Peter, just a great running back. But if they come up short, Redskins would have been in great field position. There's a handoff to Peter. Peter trying to go around the outside, still on his feet, battling for yardage, gets across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. It's a gain of about 3 or 4 yards, and Peter seems to be getting stronger as the game goes on. Big 210-pound running back for the Rams, and let's call that almost a 5-yard pickup by Jason Peter. Peter, 210-pound senior, 6 feet tall, came into the game 238 carries, 1,884 yards. With that big rush he had run earlier, he probably has about 70 or 80 yards in this game. There's a pitch to Peter. Peter trying to come around the near side, got some running room up across the 35, maybe the 36-yard line. Going to be a little short of the first down. It's going to bring up a third down and about 2. They're going to spot the football at the 35. Jason Wallace in on the tackle for the Redskins. So the football just across the 35-yard line. They have to get up to the 38-yard line. So it's third down and a short 3. 2:14 left to go in the third quarter of play. Backs are split, double tight end formation. Power to the far side. There's a handoff to Garrity. Garrity's going to be nailed in the backfield for a loss. Big charge by the Redskins. Dwayne Garrity nailed in the backfield, and Chad Lafferty in the vicinity, one of the players in on the stop for the Redskins, but a great defensive play by the Redskins defensive team. And now it's going to bring up a 4th down and 4. 4th and 4, and the Rams are going to go for it once again. The football setting at the 34-yard line. They went for it once and made it. Getting pretty gutsy. There's the pitch to Dowell. He's caught in the backfield and tackled for a loss. The Redskins take possession of the football at the 30-yard line. A big play by the Redskins. Tony Wallace shot up the middle and nailed Nick Dowell in the backfield. They went for it one too many times, and now the Redskins, 1st and 10, just 30 yards away from the end zone with the wind at their back and 1 minute and 31 seconds left to go in the third quarter. If the Redskins put the points on the board, that play could be a costly one. We were talking about going for it the last time. This time, now we have motion, and jumping off sides is Troy Prose. Troy Prose jumped off sides way ahead of the rest of the team, so it's going to be a 5-yard mark-off against the Redskins. That pushes it back to the 15-yard line, brings up a 1st and 15. Minute, 31 seconds remaining, third quarter. 24-14, the Redskins with a 10-point lead over the Rams. 2 backs in the eye, double tight end formation. Conan takes the handoff, hands off. The ball's loose on the field. It's recovered by Blue Valley. Blue Valley has come up with the football. I believe the ball was recovered out there for the Rams by Nick Dowell. Nick Dowell came up with the recovery. and that ball popped loose. And as we said, the playing conditions deteriorating as this game goes on. A light mist coming out of the north, the wind blowing pretty hard, the temperature falling like a rock, and that ball getting harder and harder to hang on to. There could be more fumbles before this is over. Nick Dowell hands off to Jason Peter. Peter bowls his way up to about the 38-yard line. It's going to be a gain of about 4 on the play. Jason Peter, big, strong running back for the Randolph Blue Valley Rams, and it's a gain of almost 4 yards. Going to bring up a 3rd down and a long 6. 1 minute and 5 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter of play. The Redskins with the 10-point lead blew a great opportunity. They had 1st and 10 at the Rams 30, fumbled the ball, and now the Rams back on the attack. The Rams 1st and 10, or 2nd and 7 at about the 38-yard line. Nick Dowell fakes a handoff, rolls to the outside. He's got running room across the 40, the 35, the 30, out of bounds at just about the 25-yard line. Big gain by Nick Dowell, knocked out of bounds. Chad Lafferty chases him out of bounds, but not before Nick Dowell picks up a 1st and 10 and a gain of about 15 yards on the play. So it's 1st and 10 for the Rams, the football at the 28-yard line. 41 seconds left to go. The Rams trying to make this a football game. If they score on this drive, they can cut the lead to 2. So now the Rams' momentum switching around in their favor. Nick Dowell takes the snap, hands off to Jason Peter. He's tripped up in the backfield. A nice stop by the Redskins. Shooting in there was Tony Wallace. Wallace nailed Jason Peter for a loss of about a half a yard on the play, and it brings up a 2nd down and 11. Clock running, 23 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. 24-14. This game getting more exciting as time goes on. There, the first part of the game was all Little River, and now Blue Valley battling back, and they trail by 10 with the football deep in Little River territory. Backs are split in the backfield. There's a handoff to Peter. He's caught by Chad Lafferty right at the line of scrimmage. Peter falls forward for maybe a yard or 2, but the Little River defense, a good stop on that play. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter of play. Our score, Little River 24 are standing up. I think they froze in that position, but lots of people up on their feet. Big crowd on hand for Little River. There can't be many people left in town. 3rd down and 9. Nick Dowell takes the snap, rolling to the near side, cuts upfield, gets across the 25 to about the 23-yard line. He's going to be about 5 yards short of the 1st and 10, and so it's going to bring up a 4th down and 5, and I'm sure the Rams will go for it, as they've been going for it in much worse field position than this. So 4-down territory for the Rams, the football at the 24-yard line. 4th down and 6. Gutsy call by Mike Teeter. They are in field goal range possibly if they have a pretty good kicker, and that 3 points could make a difference, but they're going to go for 6 or 8. Dowell takes the snap, dropping back to throw, lost one out. It's caught, 1st down, and knocked out of bounds at about the 9-yard line. It's a completed pass. Kunze makes the catch inside of the 10-yard line, and so even though the Randolph Blue Valley Rams don't throw the ball very often, they do that time connect and pick up enough yardage for the 1st and 10, and so it's 1st and goal. The football, nose of the football just inside of the 10, so 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. 11:15 remaining in the football game. A perilous 10-point lead for the Redskins. Dowell takes the snap, hands off to Peter. Peter on his feet, inside the 5, battling for yardage, down to the 3. Tackled by Tony Wallace and Chad Lafferty, but Peter picks up 7 yards on the play, and it's going to bring up a 2nd down and a long 3. Football just inside of the 4-yard line. 2nd down and goal just inside of the 4-yard line. 24-14 the score. If they score, it'll make it 24-20, and it could be anybody's football game. And Blue Valley coming back strong as Little River jumped out to 24-0 lead, and that's not much luck. Hand off to Peter. Peter pulls into the end zone. Touchdown! A 4-yard run by Jason Peter, and we've got practically a brand new football game. We have a new football game, folks, as the Blue Valley Rams have battled back after being down 24-0, and Jason Peter scores on a 3-yard run with 11:07 left to go in the 4th quarter, and that makes the score 24-20, and now Blue Valley is going for the 2-point conversion. There's a handoff It gives to Peter. Peter's going to be stopped shy of the goal line. The two-point conversions failed, and that's the difference in this football game is 2 failed two-point conversions. And the Redskins now lead the Blue Valley Rams 24 to a nice kickoff deep. Wallace picks it up, takes it out to about the 23-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Redskins from the 23-yard line. 11 minutes, 1 second left to go in the contest. 24-20 the score. Little River has had 20 points scored on them in a row. Now Conan pitches out to the outside. Looked like the ball almost popped free to Tony Wallace, but it's going to be a loss of about a yard on the play. And so the pitch from Conan to Wallace didn't go anywhere, and it lost a yard, so it brings up a 2nd down and 11. The Redskins working against the wind. In the lineup now, Chris Rochelle. Coming out of the lineup, Josh Nelson. Tyler Wharton leads the Redskins up to the line of scrimmage. Single back, two backs split out wide to the far side. Conan takes the snap, hands off to Wallace. He's smashed at the line of scrimmage and stuffed for no gain. Big defensive charge by Jason Peter. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 11. And boy, momentum has completely swung around in the favor of the Blue Valley Randolph Rams. And it is now 3rd down and 11, and Little River having no luck at all moving the football here at the last half of the game. Little River jumped out to a 24-0 lead. Now the Rams have ripped off 20 points in a row, and it's 24-20, and the Redskins are looking at a 3rd down 11. Now they can't get their back set. Time's going to be running out. Conan gets the snap and a shotgun. He keeps coming up the near side. 25, jumps over tackler at the 30, the 35, midfield, 35, 33. Beautiful run by Tyson Conan. Conan, the quarterback, running out of a shotgun, leaped over a defender and broke a long one all the way down to the 32, 33-yard line. What a great play by Tyson Conan, and coming at a great time as momentum had really swung around to the Rams. And that was a huge play by Tyson Conan, and that's a play that the Redskins really needed to keep this drive alive, because if they'd had to punt against this wind, they could have been in trouble. Now they have Conan running out of a shotgun. Conan, the football at the 33-yard line. The snap to Conan. He keeps. He's going, tries to cut up in the middle. Now breaks tackles, gets up to the 30-yard line. It's a 3-yard gain for Tyson Conan. And so it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 7, the football at the 30-yard line. 9 minutes and 44 seconds left to go in the football game. The clock winding down, the Redskins clinging to a 4-point lead. What a comeback by the Rams of Blue Valley Randolph. A great comeback. Tyler Wharton leads the Redskins up to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a double tight end formation, 2 backs in the eye. It's Chad Lafferty and Tony Wallace. Conan sets the line of scrimmage, takes the snap, hands off to Lafferty. Lafferty's going to be smashed at the line of scrimmage. He falls forward for a gain of maybe a yard or 2, but a good defensive stop by the Rams, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6. 3rd down and 6 for the Redskins. The football just inside of the 29-yard line. 9 minutes left to go in the football game. Chris Rochelle coming into the lineup. Josh Nelson coming out. 24-20 the score. Clock winding down, 8:50 left to go in the football game. Rochelle split out wide to the far side. On the near side, we have Troy Prose. Backs are split. Conan in a shotgun. Takes the snap, running to the near side. Has a couple blockers inside the 25 to the 23-yard line, close to the 1st down yardage. I think he's got it. I think Tyson Conan picked up just enough yardage for the 1st and 10. And let's see, are they? It is. It's a 1st and 10. Great individual effort by Tyson Conan. 2 great running plays to keep this drive going, and it's a 1st and 10 for the Redskins. The football at the 22-yard line. Clock winding down, 8:25. Redskins burning up valuable time off the clock. 2 backs in the eye, double tight end formation. Conan sets the line, takes the snap. There's a handoff to Lafferty. Lafferty going off left tackle. There's a flag thrown. It looked like one of the Redskins might have moved early, but that's a real late flag, and I'm not sure what may be called. No gain on the play. The officials talking it over right now. Looked like it could have been motion on the line of scrimmage by the Redskins. They're discussing it with the other officials, trying to unsort it, and it's going to be illegal procedure against the Redskins, false start, and so it's going to be a 5-yard mark-off, and it's going to bring up a 1st down and 15. 1st down and 15, that pushes the football back to the 27-yard line. So first down and 15 for the Redskins. The football at the 27. Chris Rochelle coming into the lineup, coming out Troy Prose. Clock running, 8:10, 8:09. 24-20 the score. Blue Valley has scored 20 unanswered points. It was all Little River at the beginning of the game, and it's been all Blue Valley since that time. Conan takes the snap. Hands off to Tony Wallace. Wallace has got running room. He's inside the 20 to 15. He's going to go all the way. 5. Touchdown! Tony Wallace scores from 27 yards out, and Little River takes a 30-20 lead over the Blue Valley Rams and Bramdorf. What a play by Tony Wallace. Tony Wallace finally breaks the ice for the Redskins and gallops in from 27 yards out. A huge play by Tony Wallace and runs it into the end zone from 27 yards out. Redskins are going to go for 2. 7 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the fourth. There's the snap. There's a handoff. Bowling his way into the end zone. It's Tyson Conan. Tyson Conan scores for the Redskins. And so Tyson Conan makes the 2-point conversion, and that makes it 32-20. Football. It got caught by the wind. It caught at about the 27-yard line. The kick by the Redskins was made by Andrew Hanscom, 148-pound sophomore, and that ball went high in the air and then got caught in the wind and started to come back, caught by the Rams. So first and 10 for the Rams at the 27-yard line. 32-20 the score. A huge 27-yard run by Tony Wallace has given Little River a little bit of breathing room. Let me tell you, Little River scored the first 24 points. Blue Valley scored the next 20, and now the Redskins have finally retaliated. Quarterback takes the snap, fires the football out. It's complete at the 35-yard line. It's going to be a gain of about 7-8 yards on the play. Nice pass play by the Rams. Nick Dowell tossed the football over to, let's see, I believe it's Brett Kunze, and it's a 9-yard gain. Second down and 1, the football at the 35-yard line at the Rams 35. Two backs split in the eye for the Rams. Clock is running, 7:15. There's the snap. Dowell takes it, hands off to Peter. He's got running room. He's got the first and 10 and falls down, nailed, hammered to the turf at about the midfield stripe. Leading the charge, Troy Prose, and also in on the tackle, Jason Wallace, the 140-pound sophomore middle linebacker. So it's a first and 10 for the Rams, Blue Valley Randolph Rams. 7 minutes left to go. Clock winding down. 32-20. 32-20 is our score. Rams moving quickly, trying to get some points on the board in a hurry. Double tight in formation. Backs are split in the backfield. Nick Dowell takes the snap, back to throw, looking, has time now, flushed out of the pocket, lobs the pass out. It's caught by Jason Peter. He's nailed at the 19-yard line. It's another first and 10 and about a 20-yard gain. It's a 20-yard gain for the Rams, and it's a first and 10 at the 19-yard line. So they spot the ball. Okay, they spot the ball at the 18-yard line. 32-20. Listening to some scores, Liberals leading Saline at 21-7, and Fort Scott has won the state championship Class 4A. There's a back in motion for the Rams. Keeping the football is Dowell. Dowell has running room, dives out of bounds at about the 12-yard line, nailed to the turf out there by Jason Wallace. But the ball is going to be spotted at the 13-yard line. It's going to be a gain of about 5 yards on the play. Brings up a second down and 5. Nick Dowell kept the football, scampered to the near side goal for the out-of-bounds stake, and knocked out of bounds. They wanted to stop that clock, and that does stop the clock with 6:27. Time is working against the Rams. They've got to move the ball quickly, and they're basically more of a running-oriented team. And so you'll see him work it to the outside. There's a handoff to Peter. Somebody has a shirt sleeve and drags him down to about the 9-yard line. Grabbing Jason Peter by a shirt sleeve was one of the Redskins, and I believe that Redskin was John Hodson, who caught him by a shirt sleeve and drug him to the turf at the 10-yard line, and that's not easy. Jason Peter, a 210-pound running back, has gained well over 1,900 yards, probably close to 2,000 now, and it brings up a third down and 1 for the Rams. Third down and 1, two backs in the backfield. There's a handoff. across enough yardage for the 1st and 10 to about the 8-yard line. Jason Peter bowls ahead for 2 yards. They needed 1 for the 1st and 10. So now the Rams are knocking on the door once again. It's been a nice drive by the Rams, mixing it up on the ground and through the air. The first down stops the clock with 5:47 left to go in the football game. 32-20 the score. 1st and goal for the Rams. Rams come up to the line of scrimmage. Officials holding up the action a little bit so they can get in place. Strong wind out of the north at the back of the Rams. I'm starting to shiver a little bit. I hope I'm not shaking too much on my broadcast, but it's cold. Taking the snap is Nick Dowell. Nick Dowell rolling to the far side, tucks it in, nailed at the 5, down to about the 4-yard line. So they had some blocking out front, and Dowell gets it down to the 5-yard line, so it brings up 2nd down and goal from the 5. 5:20 left to go in the football game. 32-20 our score, but the Rams are knocking on the door. Dowell comes up to the line of scrimmage, 2 backs in the backfield. It's Garrity and Peter. There's a handoff to Peter. Peter is going to be hit in the backfield and tackled. John Hodson leading the charge. John Hodson leading the charge for the Little River Redskins. A brilliant defensive play out there by he and Josh Nelson. It's a loss. Well, they're going to mark the ball back at the 5. I thought they nailed him for a loss, but it brings up 3rd down and goal from the 5-yard line. But more importantly, the clock's running. 4:45 left to go in the football game. Clock winding down. The Rams have to punch it into the goal to have a chance of getting back in the football game. Redskins leading by 12. Dowell takes the snap, dropping back to throw, looking into the end zone. He slips and falls. He slips and falls to the turf, clear back at the 12-yard line, and defending on the play was John Hodson, and Hodson put the pressure on him, and he tried to make a cut, and his feet went right out from underneath him. He loses 7 yards, and it brings up a 4th and goal from the 12-yard line. 4 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the football game. Clock running. The ball clear back to the 12-yard line. The Rams, they've got to pull a little magic out of their hat right now. 4th down and goal from the 12. Oh, the ball pops loose. It's picked up and now down at the 20-yard line. Losing the handle on the football was Nick Dowell, and Dowell able to cover up the football, but he lost another 8 yards. And really, the playing conditions starting to take its toll. You know those kids' hands have to be really cold. One of the people up in the press box said their pin froze up out there, and he estimated the wind chill at least down to about 0. And, you know, this wet, misty playing conditions, you know, some of these kids may be close to suffering from hypothermia, as cold as it is, especially the kids on the sidelines that are just standing around and watching. They've got to be cold, because we're cold up here in the press box. But the Redskins stop and hold the Rams, and so the Redskins take possession of the football, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. 3:51 left to go in the ball game. Conan takes the handoff, takes the snap, gives off to Lafferty. Lafferty bowls straight ahead for about 3. And the ball is going to be 2nd down and 7, the ball at about the 23-yard line. Clock running, 3 minutes and 30. That was Lafferty, I think. So it's 2nd down and 7. 2nd down and 7 for the Redskins. The football at the 23-yard line. Redskins, 2 backs in the eye, double tight end formation. Tyson Conan sets the line, takes the snap, hands off to Wallace. Wallace trying to get to the outside. He's nailed at the line of scrimmage. No gain. But clock winding down. Going to bring up a 2nd down and 7. 3 minutes left to go in the state championship football game. Division I, 8-man football. It's been a dandy football game. At one time, Little River led 24-0. Then Blue Valley charged back, made it 24-20. And now the Redskins stick another touchdown on. They lead 32-20. Redskins 3rd down and a long 5. The football at the 24-yard line. Conan in the shotgun. The snap, he's coming to the near side. He's made some big gains with this. This time he's going to be nailed just past the line of scrimmage. A good defensive play by Jason Peter for the Rams. And it's a gain of about a yard or 2. And so the Redskins are held, and it's going to bring up a 4th down and 4. 4th down and 4 for the Redskins. The football at the 26-yard line. Will they punt? Will they go for it? The wind is so strong out of the north that football probably feels like a rock out there about now. It's not going to be easy to punt that football as it's cold and damp. Some of the players on the near sideline dancing up and down, trying to keep warm. And it is cold out there. Now it looks like we have a timeout on the field. Shane Cordell walks out. We're going to keep it right here. Cordell goes out onto the field to decide what they want to do here. 4th down and 4. The football at the 26-yard line. 2.5 minutes left to go in the game. A punt, it's going to be tough to get much distance out of a punt on this ball. Kicking into the wind. The football cold, frozen. The wind blowing strong out of the north. Now we have from K-State, we have an update, 35-12 in the 4th quarter. So K-State leading 35-12 over the Iowa State Cyclones, and the Redskins are going to punt. They're going to punt. Let's see if they can get the play away. The snap is going to, we have offsides. Jumping offsides was Jason Peter, and the Redskins, a long signal count, drew the Rams offsides, and that's enough yardage for the 1st and 10. Big play. Nice call by the Redskins. They had a long signal count and drew the Rams offside. Brilliant call by Shane Cordell to go to the long signal count. You know the Rams wanted to get in there and stop that kick. Instead, they jump off sides and give the Redskins a 1st down. And the Redskins now can run off more time on the clock. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. 32-20 our score. 1st and 10 for the Redskins. The football at the 31-yard line. Going out wide to the far side is Chris Rochelle. Also out there, Troy Prose. One back in the backfield. It's probably Tony Wallace. Tyson Conan takes a snap. Quarterback sneak. He goes straight ahead for a yard or two. Not much running room up there. A short game, but the Redskins more concerned with running time off the clock. And if the Rams have their timeouts left, I think they're going to start using them here as their time is running out, and they've got to get 2 scores on the board here quickly. So 2nd down and 9, the Redskins patiently running off as much time as they can. Now we're coming down to the 2-minute mark. 2:01, 2 minutes, minute 59. No 2-minute timeout in high school football. Tyson Conan, the quarterback. 2 backs in the eye, takes the snap. It's a pitch to Wallace. Wallace trying to get outside, leaps over one tackler, gets up across the line of scrimmage for a short gain on the play, maybe a half a yard or so. But the clock continues to run. A minute and 40 seconds. It's going to be 3rd down and 9, and now Blue Valley wants timeout. Timeout on the floor. Little River 32, Blue Valley 20. We'll be back after stadium. Tony Wallace takes the ball, dives on his back, getting close to the 1st down marker, up to the midfield stripe. Let's see where they spot the football. It may be just a little shy. It is. It's going to bring up a 4th down and 1 for the Redskins at midfield. We have an update on the 5A score. Liberal and Salina Central are all tied up at 21 apiece in the 5A state championship. So quite a football game, and since I'm an old Salina Mustang, go Central. Like to see them beat those Redskins from Liberal. But right here at this game, I'm rooting for the Little River Redskins to pull the victory off. 4th down and 1, and we have a timeout on the field called by the Little River Redskins. Little River Redskins, 1 timeout. We have 58 seconds left on the clock. We'll be back after this brief timeout.
Pay no interest on your favorite sleep products until May of 1997 at the Sleep Shop in Hutchinson. That's enough time to collect on your expected 1996 tax refund. That's right, 6 months with no interest. What a perfect time to get a day bed, water bed, conventional bed, futon sofa sleeper, soft side water bed, or a new adjustable comfort air sleep system. Plus, we have a huge selection of beautiful 4-piece bedroom suits starting at $8.99, or pay as little as $34.09 per month. If you need conventional bedding, we have premium grade queen size now starting at $2.99 for the 2-piece set. The Sleep Shop has full-size futons with frame and mattress now starting at only $1.99. Day beds including Link Springs starting only $99. We have water beds in super single queen or king size starting at $269 complete. Come in and get your free tickets.
Welcome back to Salina Stadium. 58 seconds left to go. Tyson Conan takes the snap, tries to break tackles. He's going to be nailed. It's going to be very close to the 1st down. I don't know if he made it or not. It's going to depend on the mark, and the officials say he is shy of the 1st down, and so the Rams from Blue Valley Randolph will take possession of the football right at the 40-yard line. 52 seconds left to go in the football game. 52 seconds left. 32-20 the score. Rams up to the line of scrimmage quickly. They have 2 receivers split out. Back to throw is Dowell. Dowell fires a long one out over the middle. It's overthrown. Pass was intended Pass was intended for Kunze, but he overthrew him by about 5 yards, and so that stops the clock with 46 seconds left and brings up a 2nd down and 10. The Rams are going to have to go to their passing game. They don't have enough time otherwise. They've got to put it up in the air with 46 seconds left, and they've only thrown the football about 30 times all year long. Passing, not something they do a lot of. 2 backs split in the backfield. Back to throw is Dow. He fires out a little screen pass. It's complete. And to Jason Peter, he cuts upfield across the 30, the 25, the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Jason Peter! It's a touchdown for Jason Peter, and it's now 32-26. 32-26. This football game is not over. It is not over. We're going to have an onside attempt coming your way and a very critical 2-point conversion right now. 34 seconds left to go in the football game. 32-26. A big, big play from the midfield stripe for the Rams. It's a 40-yard pass play. And what a play to get the Rams right back in this football game. Dow going through the 2-point conversion, takes the snap. It's a quick pitch to Peter. Peter trying to find the end zone. He's in! It's good! It's 32-28. 32-28. Hold on to your hats, folks. 34 seconds left to go in the game. 32-28 our score. Blue Valley will be kicking the ball away, but how much you want to bet it's going to be some sort of an onside kick? I would just about bet the family farm on that one, folks, or some sort of a trick play on this kickoff. We're going to keep it right here. 32-28 our score. A big, big run by Jason Peter. Jason Peter gallops, well, it's a screen pass to Jason Peter from 40 yards out, and that touchdown coming with 34 seconds left to go in the 4th period, and that makes the score 32-26, and the 2-point conversion also good. So 32-28 the score. 34 seconds left to go on the clock. Teeing up the football at the 30-yard line. That's where you tee it up in 8-man football. Getting ready to do the kicking for the Rams is Chris Stedman, the big 180-pound senior. The ball right smack dab in the middle of the 30-yard line. The wind at his back. And here comes the onside kick. It takes the onside bounce. It's loose on the ground, and it's covered up by Blue Valley. Blue Valley has covered the football, but there's a flag thrown on the field. A flag thrown on the field. Do we have an offsides penalty? Oh, the Rams have recovered the onside kick, but we have a flag thrown, and it's going to be offsides against the Blue Valley Randolph Rams. And so a beautifully executed onside kick waved off the boards on the offsides. And so that will push the ball back to the 25-yard line. Now, they are making an announcement that the streets and the roads and the sidewalks and the rails and everything is getting icy out here. It's very dangerous to be walking around or driving around. So we want to warn all of our listeners throughout central Kansas, take it really easy tonight. We've got some dangerous ice conditions developing here in central Kansas. And, so take it real careful. 33 seconds left to go in the football game. Here comes another onside kick. It bounces up in the air. It's got to go 10 yards. It hasn't gone there. It's fallen upon. Did it go 10? They kicked off from the 25. It's not quite to the 35, so it did not go 10 yards. And so the Redskins will get possession of the football. And so the second onside attempt is unsuccessful. Boy, it's too bad that offside, or too bad for the Rams. Great news for the Redskins. Now the Redskins, 33 seconds left on the clock. I'm not sure exactly what Blue Valley's timeout situation is, but I don't think they can't stop it enough times. So Little River just needs to hang on possession of the football. Tyson Conan takes the snap, goes to one knee. There's one play down. 29 seconds left. The clock running at 26 seconds, 24 seconds, and the Rams must be out of timeout. The Redskins are going to win the football game and the state championship. Big hugs being given out there. Big hugs. The Little River Redskins are going to win a state championship. And Shane Cordell wins another one. Last year, the runner-up. This year, the state champions in Division I. 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the buzzer. The Little River Redskins have won the Division I 8-man football championship. And the Redskins are celebrating right now. They're jumping up and down. They're having a blast. They're state champions. Enjoy it, guys. It only happens once in your life. So the Little River Redskins have won a Division I 8-man football championship over a tough, hard-fought football team. 32-28 the score, and this game went right down to the wire. The players are out there shaking hands in the middle of the field, and I'll bet you one thing, the fans will not take long in clearing out this stadium. They're going to hop in their cars and get the heaters fired up and get some warmth back in their bodies, and it turned off cold. But you know what? The Little River Redskins are not noticing how cold it is. The Blue Valley Rams from Randolph, they're noticing. It's cold. It's miserable. They've traveled a long ways, and they've lost a heartbreaking loss to the Little River Redskins. So the Redskins finished their season 13-0, state champions. Last year, they were the runner-up in Division I 8-man football. This year, they are the state champions. In just a little bit, they'll be awarding the champion. 32-28, our final score. The Redskins out there getting their pictures taken. They are the state champions of Division I 8-man football. Last year, they were the bridesmaids. They finished runner-up. This year, they walk away a 32-28 victor. Now, we are going to recap the scoring. It was a game of two different games. To start off the game, Little River, it was all Little River. They jumped out to a 24-0 lead. Then Blue Valley, Randolph stormed back with 20 unanswered points. Then they traded some touchdowns for our final score. But the game started off on a 20-yard gallop by Tony Wallet with 8:21 left to go in the first quarter. The two-point conversion play was Tyson Conan to Chad Lafferty. That made the score 8-0. The second score was also a 7-yard run by Tony Wallet. That coming with 5:02 in the first quarter. Again, it was Lafferty and Conan connecting for a two-point conversion play. That made it 16-0. The third score for the Redskins was a 3-yard run by Wallace with 8:10 remaining in the second quarter. Again, Lafferty and Conan connecting for the two-point conversion play made it 24-0. Then Jason Peters scored on a 3-yard play. Jason Peters, the big running back for the Rams, he scored with 3:36 remaining on the second quarter. They took possession of the football deep in Little River territory at the 12-yard line. That was a turning point in the game. The Rams' two-point conversion was good on a two-point conversion run by Garrity. Then the Rams came on strong. The next touchdown by Jason Peters came with 7:51 in the third quarter, and that on a 3-yard run. That made it 24-14. And then the two-point conversion failed. Then Jason Peters scored on another 3-yard run. That coming with 11:01 with the fourth quarter, making it 24-20. Two-point conversion failed once again. Little River came back on a 27-yard run by Tony Wallace with 7:50 remaining in the fourth quarter. That made it 30-28 or 30-20. Two-point conversion play was good by Tyson Cohn as he kept the ball and ran into the end zone. And then the Rams put the final touchdown on the board with 34 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, making it 32-26. Two-point conversion was good. And then the big play of the game that turned out to be the deciding factor. The Rams kicked an onside kick. They recovered the kick, but an offsides penalty against the Rams forced the Rams to kick it once again, and Little River covered up the football the second time around and ran out the clock. But it was that close. It was that close. The Rams almost had possession of the football with 30 seconds left on a successful onside kick, but they were offsides, and that turnover cost them the ball game there at the end, or a chance of winning the game. They've just awarded the state championship trophy to the Little River Redskins. The victorious Redskins on the field with their trophy in front of them, getting their pictures taken. Right now, we'd like to take a few moments to recognize the seniors who have led the Redskins to this great victory. And we'll announce all the seniors. The seniors include number 15, Troy Prose. Troy Prose, 145-pound senior. Other seniors on the team include Tony Wallace. And what a performance by Wallace. Wallace scored 1, 2, 3, 4. He scored all four of the touchdowns for the Redskins. A tremendous performance by Tony Wallace. A great way to cap off his senior season. Also playing their final game for the Redskins, Tyson Conan. A couple of great runs to keep that drive alive, moving the football down. They were like 4th and 10 deep in their own territory. He kept the ball out of a shotgun formation, picked up some big yardage, and another big play to keep the ball out of the hands of the Rams. And those two key plays for Tyson Conan, the 176-pound senior. Also wrapping up their season, John Hodson, 162-pound senior, playing on the offensive line and defensive, making a lot of big tackles out there. Chad Lafferty, the big 230-pound fullback, and also a linebacker for the Redskins, playing his final football game and playing a heck of a game also. And also we want to salute Chad Elwood. Chad Elwood, a 420-pound senior. He did a lot of great plays right in the middle of the field, blocking up the runs. And Jason Peters, normally running for over 200 yards a game, stopped many, many times on the line of scrimmage by the tremendous effort by Chad Elwood. And another senior, Tyler Wharton. Tyler Wharton, a 229-pound senior at center, doing a super job, made some great snaps all day long. And finally, the last senior we want to recognize is Charlie Shell. Charlie Shell, playing on the offensive, defensive line, 190-pound senior, playing his last game. So the Redskins are state champions for 1996 Division I football, defeating the Blue Valley Randolph Rams 32-28. Our hats off to the Redskins. A good salute for a great comeback by the Rams. And we want to take our hats off. It's been a fun season. We want to remind everybody we've got lots of great high school basketball coming your way. We'll be following the Redskins boys and girls basketball team, lots of Heart of America games, Lions, Bueller, Sterling, lots of great basketball games coming your way on Oldies 94.7 K-Gold. The other thing, take it easy out there. Very slippery driving conditions developing, ice all over the place up here in the Salina area.